WZDX presents an extra look at the hottest action from the world of sports. This is WZDX Sports Extra with Mo Carter, Charity Chambers, and Kayla Carlisle.
Hey there, we hope that you had a great and safe 4th of July holiday earlier this week, and we thank you for joining us for the best 30 minutes of your Sunday here on WZDX Sports Extra. As you see, the entire gang is here in the studio. We've been working very hard this week to bring you an action-packed show.
Yeah, Mo, and even though this was a holiday week, the sports scene remained very busy, especially here in the Tennessee Valley.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what's on tap tonight. The Spirit of America Championships teed off this week in Decatur with last year's winner Brooks Raven going for back-to-back state titles. Oh, not state titles, just titles, excuse me. Plus Huntsville native and Denver Broncos defensive back Darian Stewart returned home to give back to the Rocket City. Also, we'll introduce you to a young racing prodigy named JoJo Wilkerson.
Plus, Alabama native Terrell Owens chose his spot to make his Hall of Fame speech, and two members on the WZDX Sports team have opposing opinions about that decision. We'll get to that later, but first, we'll start off with this. One of the summer's premier golf events in the Tennessee Valley is the Daikin Spirit of America Golf Championships. And today was the final round, and someone was going to walk away with a very nice trophy. Off to Decatur we go. The leader group was a battle of the top two. Brooks Raven goes into the 5th hole at 9 under. As you see, he had a nice tee off on that one. Then he makes his way onto the green in great position for the short putt, and that'll be a birdie for Mr. Raven. He now is 10 under. Matt Gorgio, the Decatur native, he's 12 under going into the tournament for the record, and he has a great driving shot. Then he goes for the long putt, but he'll come up just a little short. That'll be par for him. He remains in the lead at 12 under at this point. Also in the running today was Cooper Sears from Vanderbilt. He stayed consistent throughout the day, and he would actually finish second with 10 under. Now back to Mr. Raven now on the 8th hole after taking the lead over Gorgio. He makes the putt, and he's going to come up just a little short, but guess what? He'll tap it in and stay at par, keeping him at 10 under. And Raven would actually go on to win the golf tournament. And guess what? That means that is back-to-back championships for him because he won it last year and he wins it this year. Hey, let's take a look at your top 5 finishers on the day. Of course, Brooks Raven finishes with 12 under for the entire event. Cooper Sears, 10 under. 2 guys tied at 3rd, including Sam Murphy of Decatur. 2 guys tied at 5th, which includes Matt Gorgio of Decatur. But today was all about Mr. Brooks Raven, the two-time Spirit of America champion.
It's definitely very rare, you know. There's a lot more pressure for sure, because everybody basically expects you to come back and play well and be in contention, if not win again. Everybody I ran into this week goes, "Oh, you're the guy that won last year." And, you know, yes sir, yes ma'am. It's really fun. It was really awesome to come back and get another win this year.
Big congrats to him. Over now to the gridiron. This week, a couple of NFLers and Huntsville natives made their way back to the Rocket City to give back to the community that molded them. One of those players, current Denver Bronco Darian Stewart, who holds his 5th annual Stewart Standouts Camp. Hundreds of athletes took the field at Milton Frank Stadium this weekend to learn from Denver Broncos free safety Darian Stewart.
I love when people give back, and Darian always gives back. To see a smile on these kids' face and to see the parents happy and everyone having a great time, it just makes the day even better.
During the 5th annual Stewart Standouts Camp, the Lee High School product taught athletes about fundamentals of the game and, of course, ways to better hone their craft. But this year's camp was more than just football. Stewart decided to add cheerleading in the mix as well. And the reason behind it has everything to do with his family.
These girls right here are my nieces, and they are a reason. They are the reason that I decided to do this camp. They need something to do too. They were tired of watching their cousins, their brothers run around, so that was a part of the reason I decided to add the cheer camp.
From pom-poms to touchdowns, it's evident Stewart is making an impact on athletes all throughout the Tennessee Valley.
To be able to see someone, in a sense, in their shoes, same neighborhood, same area, to say, hey, that I can go off to college, I can continue to be successful. It just brightens up their eyes to look towards their purpose also.
Man, what a great turnout and great camp put on by Darian. I even have my Stewart Standout shirt that I'll be rocking. I mean, I love seeing pro athletes coming back to where it all started, Mo.
Now, aside from the camp, Stewart also put on a nice social event on Friday. He held his inaugural Stewart Standouts Education Gala. There was food, live music, and great entertainment, and it was all in an effort to award local students with scholarships and help further their education.
just bringing the city together and just celebrating our youth and, you know, just honoring them with scholarships. I just wanted to honor the kids and just celebrate them and just show them that success in the classroom should be celebrated.
And like I told you guys earlier, the NFLers kept on rolling in. Former Huntsville High standout Nicholas Morrow also made his way back to the Rocket City. The current Oakland Raiders linebacker took time to help kids get ready for the school year. Along with some people at Temple Tabernacle Church, Morrow handed out free backpacks to kids all afternoon on Sunday, but it wasn't just the backpacks at the event. Kids also got to play games, enjoy some food, and register to win a signed football by the Huntsville native.
I just wanted to reach out to the community, let them know that I'm here for them, that they can lean on me as a resource. I understand that this isn't, you know, you're still going to have to go out and get a little more back to school supplies, but it should be a starter so that you don't have to ease a little bit of the stress.
And we sure have had a lot of pro athletes coming back this year to give back to the community, but it's time to switch gears now to racing. And Kayla Carlisle, you've been out at the racetrack quite a bit this month, right?
Hey, I'm 2 for 2 at the racetrack this month. Last week, I gave you guys a special look into the Huntsville Speedway's past. Today, I give you an up-and-coming late model racer who's trying to show the boys who's boss. Her name is Wilkerson, and she's kicking some serious tailpipe this year on the track.
She's fast on the track and isn't even old enough for a driver's permit. At just 14 years old, Hueytown native JoJo Wilkerson explains what it's like to hang with the big boys at Huntsville Speedway.
Being a 14-year-old girl is also very intense. If you drive them clean, they'll drive you clean. If you get wrecked by them, pay your respect.
And if it isn't her age that turns your head, well, then maybe it's the long hair.
Being a girl on the track, you have to earn respect on the racetrack. So you're going to want to drive them like they drive you.
JoJo's story begins 5 years ago when she was racing go-karts.
I started racing go-karts whenever I was 9 years old, and I went to Beaver Creek Speedway, and I had 19 victories my first year racing at 9.
And if the Wilkerson name rings a bell, well, that's because both her father and grandfather raced as well.
They've been racing since they were really little, so they used to travel all over the U.S. And my dad actually made it into ARCA and made his debut there, so it just got in my blood.
And being in ARCA is just one of those stops on JoJo's list of future goals. Her big dreams very well could make her the next big name female driver on your big screen.
Hopefully I can get a couple sponsors and I can get up to K&N, and then from K&N on to ARCA, and then from ARCA to Xfinity, and from Xfinity to Cup Cars.
Now, last night, JoJo was shooting for her 3rd consecutive win in Huntsville, but unfortunately, she did fall short. Brad Limley took that title in late model, while John Witten took the Star Super Trucks and David Dean Jr. dubbed the Super Stock division. But sticking with the Huntsville Speedway, Mo Carter sitting down with a special guest from the track.
Thanks, Kayla. Coming up next, we've got the Sunday sit down, and in the house is Robbie Edger, the owner of the Huntsville Speedway. He'll let us know everything we need to know about his wonderful track that's right here in the Rocket City. Stay with us. We'll be right back on WZDX Sports Extra.
And now back to the action on WZDX Sports Extra.
Welcome back to WZDX Sports Extra. It's now time to speed things up here on the Sunday Sit Down. And joining me in studio tonight is the owner of the Huntsville Speedway, Robbie Edger. Robbie, thanks for joining us tonight, man. How have things been going so far for you guys?
It's going great there, Mo. You know, we're excited about having the Speedway back open, you know, after a couple of years here, you know. So we're just excited. That's all we can say, you know. And, you know, we're hoping to have the Speedway grow with new drivers come, you know, each and every week with us. We've got people traveling from Tennessee, from Mobile, all around, you know, to race with us because we think we're doing something pretty good. We got a pretty good product out there. So we just kind of need to let everybody know we're here, you know.
Now, of course, the Huntsville Speedway has a long storied history. Unfortunately, we won't have enough time to talk about that long storied history here on WZDX Sports Extra. But talk about some things that make the Speedway so unique, not only to racing fans, but just to the average fan.
Well, the unique aspect of it is just about anybody can come down and actually race with us. You know, you don't have to be born into NASCAR or something like that. If you got a few dollars and you want to come participate, you can, as a fan, as a driver, you know.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Now, another thing I have been told is that, you know, racers of all ages, basically from what, you know, teenagers all the way through 70 years old, you can see on any given weekend at the Huntsville Speedway?
Absolutely. We got drivers, I think, at 72 years old, and our youngest driver is 14 years old right now, you know, and both of them is, you know, front runners. So, you know, like I say, there's room for everybody, you know.
Now, earlier in the show, we got a chance to talk with one of your drivers. Kayla Carlisle actually did a very special expose on JoJo. Talk about her and what she not only brings to the actual table, but talk about her being a competitor and being a special young lady that can make some things happen in the future.
Absolutely. JoJo is, she's shining. You know, she's within her second year at Huntsville Speedway right now. She's got 2 wins up under her belt. You know, she's from Hueytown, Alabama. Her father went to the Busch Series at one time there. So, you know, we're looking to see her go up the ladder, you know, pretty fast anyway.
Okay. Now, on any given Saturday, of course, I know there will be racing at the Huntsville Speedway. How much longer will things be rolling with the current schedule that you guys have? Like, will there be a stopping point at any time this year, or is it just going to just roll through until we not seeing anybody anymore?
Our current schedule right now goes to September 31st, somewhere like that. But what we would like to do is get 3 major races in before the 1st of December to try to extend the schedule a little bit, just because of the rainouts that we've been having for this year.
I know the rain made for a very, very late night, but I heard it was a very exciting night on the raceway. Can you kind of talk about what happened last night?
Absolutely. The R word we never want to hear at the Speedway anyway. But last night, yes, so we had about an hour and a half, maybe 2-hour delay getting the track dry and everything. But the fans who waited and the drivers who stayed, we had a action-packed night. We got it through about 1:30, so we apologize for the noise, but we had wrecks, we had crashes, we had cars on fire, we had everything, you know, that we can offer. $10 ticket, you can't beat it.
All the good stuff.
That's the good stuff, and the food's great.
Kind of talk about what an average person would be able to see when they come out, especially if they've never been to the Huntsville Speedway before.
Well, the first thing, you know, you can walk through the grandstands and just see races, all right? So you can be low-key or whatever, or you can pay $30, come into pits, meet the drivers, shake hands, walk up to their pits. They'll be glad to show you your car, talk about history, shake hands, give you phone numbers, swap Facebook pages, whatever. So it's no limits to what you can do at Huntsville Speedway.
All right, we've got Mr. Robbie Edger here on WZDX Sports Extra on the Sunday Sit Down. Of course, he is the owner of the Huntsville Speedway. You've been seeing all of our great stories we've been doing with the Huntsville Speedway. Look forward to doing many more stories, and go check them out each and every Saturday, right?
That's it, each and every Saturday, Huntsville Speedway.
All right, we've got more coming up here on WZDX Sports Extra. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
And now back to the action on WZDX Sports Extra.
Welcome back. Big news out of Tuscaloosa this week. The Crimson Tide reported 13 NCAA violations. The document was posted to Alabama's official website. Kind of crazy, guys. All 13 infractions are considered minor level 3 and 4 offenses, though. Only one involved the Crimson Tide's football program in July of 2017, where an assistant coach responded to an unknown text, which resulted in illegal communication with a parent of a prospective student athlete. Most of the violations involved accidental communication in the recruiting process. You may remember last year, the Tide reported 22 violations.
Better news for the Crimson Tide fans. Former Alabama standout Colin Sexton making his pro debut with the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Las Vegas Summer League. And let me tell you, he wasn't too shabby for his first time taking the court as a pro. In his 29 minutes on the court, he scored 15 points, grabbed 7 rebounds, and made 1 steal against the Washington Wizards. He sank 4 of his 5 shots. Not his best, as he was 6 for 6 from the free throw line, however, which helped lift the Cavs to a 13-point victory. Sexton says head coach Tyronn Lue gave him a couple of things he needed to improve on.
He just wanted me to make sure that I get teammates involved, make sure that everybody's in the flow in the game, and also take my shots, but also just shoot it with confidence and don't worry about missing or makes.
Now, during the first week of August, the next generation of Pro Football Hall of Famers will be enshrined in Canton, Ohio, but one person getting inducted won't be in attendance. That's Alabama native Terrell Owens. Earlier this week, Owens announced that his Hall of Fame speech will be made to the east of us at his college alma mater, UT Chattanooga. He will give his speech on campus at the McKenzie Arena at 3:17 p.m. Eastern Time, of course, on August 4th. He also said, "Get your popcorn ready." And speaking of getting your popcorn ready, our WZDX Sports team is split between Owens' decision. Charity agrees with Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
You know, staying, and Mo, you disagree.
I definitely do disagree.
Yeah, so Charity, why do you think he should stay?
Well, I guess the main reason why I agree with T.O.'s decision to not attend the Hall of Fame ceremony is because everyone knows he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, that is a fact. If you keep up with the NFL, there's no denying that. I mean, let's take a look at his stats. He's second in receiving yards behind Jerry Rice, third in touchdown receptions, second all-time receptions. I mean, if it weren't so obvious that he is a first ballot, then I wouldn't be so up in arms about this, but my thing is, you have Hall of Fame voters saying T.O. didn't get in because of his off-the-field antics. I approve of this. This is what Hall of Fame voter Gary Meyer said on the Dan Patrick Show, and I quote, "It was the second longest discussion we had in the room. The bottom line on T.O. is he was so disruptive. The argument was made in the room that what T.O. did in the locker room is a part of that." The interviewer then said, "Why don't you just evaluate what's inside the lines?" And then he said that the locker room is an extension of that. How is the locker room an extension of the football field? We're talking about what is going on the football field. And also that Hall of Fame voter also went on to say he thinks the reason Michael Irvin didn't get in was in his first try was because of the fact of his off the field antics. I mean, if we are having people that are voters that are saying that these players aren't getting in on first ballots because of their off the field antics, that's just not right, because the Hall of Fame guidelines, you're going off of what's based on the field. So I totally wholeheartedly agree with T.O. because I love the fact that the NFL was kind of trying to stick it to him, and all of a sudden he's like, no, haha, joke's on you. I'm not attending your little induction ceremony.
No, haha. Old Mo, what's your take on it?
All right, so I've been watching the NFL Hall of Fame ceremonies basically my whole entire life, you know, hoping I could eventually be right there, but that never ever worked out in the standpoint. But I look at it like this. Every NFL Hall of Famer will tell you the same thing. The Hall of Fame is versus a fraternity of brothers, a brotherhood fraternity roughly. And it feels that nobody else has ever done this or whatever, so why should T.O. be the first to definitely try it? And I know T.O. will talk about I didn't get the respect or whatever when it comes to this, but there's a whole lot of guys that did not get first ballot Hall of Fame respect. When we're talking about respect, let's look at disrespect. As a matter of fact, I can show you some people who got very, very disrespected in their Hall of Fame weight. Andre Reed, when he retired, he was ranked in the top 3 in receiving yards, receiving categories, and receiving touchdowns. He had more catches and yards than Michael Irvin, Tim Brown, and Art Monk. All these guys got in either on their first or second try. Let's take a look at a guy like Chris Carter. All he does is catch touchdowns. Chris Carter basically, when he retired, was behind Jerry Rice in every statistical category known. It took him 6 times before he could actually get into the Hall of Fame. Let's go on the defensive side. Former Auburn Tiger Kevin Green, 5 times it took him to be respected per se. He's the all-time sack leader for a linebacker. He has more sacks than LT, Derek Thomas, and Ricky Jackson. And the most disrespected person, Ken Stabler, the former Alabama quarterback, went to a record number of AFC championships. The only guy that went to more AFC championships than him, Tom Brady. He played in a time where you also had to face the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. You also had to face the Air Coryell offense of the Chargers, and he also faced the Miami Dolphins, but he was able to lead the Raiders to a championship. That dude didn't even get in the Hall of Fame until he died. I mean, what does that go ahead and talk about when it comes to disrespect? So in my total offense, I feel that Terrell Owens should just go ahead and go to Canton, because I feel like this. What happens in the future when he's supposed to show up and support other people? Is he not going to show up in that standpoint? You got to think about that also. Will they just not put his bus there either in Canton, Ohio? Those are some things you have to really, really think about, because at the end of the day, T.O. brings a lot of stuff on himself.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I feel like he played with such a passion that not a lot of people were used to, and that's why he got a lot of flack for it, because people weren't used to the passion that he was playing with. I don't think he brought anything on himself, to be honest with you, but I think my main issue is with the Hall of Fame voters, because they right out said, we didn't put him in because of his off-the-field antics. I thought we were going off of what he does on the field.
I thought so too, but tell me this, why did Randy Moss get in on the first try then? Because Randy Moss had just about as many off-the-field issues as Terrell Owens did, and antics as well.
I agree. I guess we have to ask the voters that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we can just shoot him a quick email up there in Canton, Ohio.
I feel like we need to.
Maybe just shoot him an email real quick. But we're going to break this up real quick. Coming up after the break, we have our best of the week. You don't want to miss it.
And now back to the action on WZDX Sports Extra.
Welcome back, everyone. We reached that final stretch of the show. It is a fan favorite. It's the best of the week, and I heard there's some food involved. Kayla, I'll let you start off.
Well, there's no food involved with mine, unfortunately, but this one goes out to the tennis fans out there. It's Alex de Minaur against Rafael Nadal. Nadal is down love 15, but decides to take a different approach this time. He looks like he's going to hit it backwards, which is already impressive enough, but instead he hits it in between his legs. Take a look at this real quick.
Look at that athleticism.
Wow. That is true athleticism at its best right there. And Also, by the way, I should probably mention that he did catch up and tie the match right there.
Oh,
so.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Not only, that was kind of, sorry, that was a little slow to the catch there. But, yeah, I know. I was like, oh, and he hit it in between his legs. But yeah, he actually tied up the match right there. So, but enough of that. I'm just thinking about food right now.
Yes,
so let's move on.
Let's take a look at mine. You can't actually eat these things, but this is the hot dog derby during the A's-Indians game. The Onion is doing whatever it takes to win. Look, he squeezed his ketchup to take the lead. He won the hot dog derby. I don't know why I found it so funny. I want to see it in slow-mo. Let's see. He's running.
Why?
Look, wait, why? He actually kind of missed him, but whatever you have to do to make it work to win, I guess that's okay.
Why do they have purses?
I don't know. Why did hot dogs have purses? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I have no clue. All right, everyone. For 102 years, they've been eating hot dogs competitively in New York. And on the 4th of July, which was Wednesday, legendary eater Joey Chestnut looked to win his 11th title in 12 years. Just under a minute into the race, 10 hot dogs down. Joey Chestnut and 3 others are tied in the race at 10 hot dogs apiece. About halfway through the race, the contenders scarf down dogs, and Chestnut starts to pull away from the pack. Final seconds left, and the legend of Joey Chestnut continues. A new record, 74 hot dogs consumed in 10 minutes. That was 19 more than the next person. You gotta love what he had to say in his soundbite after winning, though.
74 hot dogs. I murdered it. And I was aiming for 75, but at 74, I'm happy. I got into competitive eating because I love to eat, and I love beating the heck out of people. But so I try to just have fun, and I was enjoying the food and beating the heck out of the guys next to me.
Can I look now? Is it safe to look? Okay.
You can look, so I take it you're not a fan of competitive eating.
Ew, no, that was.
I mean, do you think there's a cleaner version of that they could do?
I mean, they've been doing it for 102 years, so I think it's about as clean as it can get. And Joey Chestnut has won 11 out of 12, and I usually am glued to ESPN on 4th of July just for that event.
No, that makes you not want to eat any 4th of July food.
I know, I was going to say, that makes me not want a hot dog.
I'm not a big hot dog fan anyway, so we're in that situation.
Okay, well, it works out then.
Yeah.
All right, everyone, that'll do it for WZDX Sports Extra. For Charity and Kayla and Mo, have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching WZDX Sports Extra. Furniture provided by Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. Live life comfortably.